Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Thank you for joining me. Whether you're brand new or you've been with me since the beginning, I am telling you about my very first craft fair ever. This is the practice setup that I did at home. I had watched a couple of videos and I was pretty scared that it would take me forever. And I was trying to figure out how to get height and fit everything. So I practiced on a 6-foot table at home. And I think considering the fact that the only thing I bought was a pack of binder rings for $7, I did pretty well for my craft fair setup. My friends loaned me a couple things. I went through my house. I dumped some of Mr. Crafting and Relaxing stuff into cardboard boxes and stole the clear containers it was in. He noticed, but we're good. So I think not bad for a rookie, right? Then this is at the actual show the morning of. So I touch it up a little bit after this, but I was trying to get a video so I didn't forget. The sheet's not as tight as it should be, Andrea, I know. I ended up putting the rack against the wall because it made it dark. The light was against the wall, and that was something I was wondering about when I was at home. But this is how I laid it out. I tried to make it so that the bins with the cards were close to the front so people could sort through them. The journals sat in the back because I figured you didn't need to look through them as much. And I swapped out the fall cards a couple times. I kept adding when I would find them in the bins because people kept asking me for Thanksgiving cards. The show was November 12th, so Thanksgiving makes sense. I didn't actually have any. And this is just a still shot of the same exact booth. I sold 4 journals, that little winter folio in the very bottom right-hand corner, and a ton of cards and tags. This is me and Eileen and Janie. They came down from Vancouver to visit me. And then check out this picture. Mary from Salem, who I hadn't actually met, was there when they were there also. So we all got to hang out. That was super fun. Do I call the craft fair a success? Yes, I had a great time. I saw a whole bunch of people I hadn't seen in a while. Our neighbors from across the street came because they're from that community. You have to understand, my family has lived in this area since like World War II. My neighbor across the street, his family's lived here. Like, my family is new here compared to him. So I had messaged them and said, hey, are you going? He never saw the text, but there they were. Both of my parents came, and I got to see all sorts of people that I hadn't seen in a long time. It was just really fun. All day long, there were different people, and I had homemade pumpkin pie with whipped cream on it. That's a perfect day for me right there. So would I do it again? Absolutely. Did it clean out my craft room? Well, I think if I was putting my cards away and storing things, it's better, but I don't think the amount of cards that I created for it outweighs the amount that I sold. I did not really sell Christmas cards like I expected, and maybe because people buy a lot of Christmas cards in box sets, they don't spend a lot of money on them, and it's not something they invest in. Maybe because they were asking me for Thanksgiving cards, so maybe I was too early. But funny thing happened at the craft fair. I got invited to participate in another craft fair farther down that obscure highway in a community that I haven't heard of. I might do a craft fair I think it would be like the first Sunday in December or something, which I think will help thin out the Christmas cards and my room some more. I might even adjust my prices a little. I think it depends. It's tricky to figure out local pricing versus pricing with shipping because that's been a little brutal. And one year I realized shipping is more expensive in December. That got tricky. I didn't really understand. And I hate going to the post office in December because of the lines. So I learned not to do a giveaway in December, I'm almost to 9,000 subscribers. Have you guys noticed that? It's crazy. Anyway, focus. Lori and Becky, you're both in line for a Christmas journal. So what I was thinking was, if you know there's one here that you want, tell me and I'll pull it out and get it mailed to you before December. So if you want to do December daily, you're ready to go. I think I sold the one that I kind of had my eye on for you, Becky. So if you don't like any of these, you tell me and I'll take care of you. The basic gray with the shaker is still here. And this one could be Christmas all day long, but it's just so elegant. I love this one. So I don't know, maybe one of you would like this, and you were looking for something a little more vintage, Becky. So I don't know if this leans toward it, and then I could just put in cool Christmas, Christmas type stuff to decorate it up a little bit more. If anybody wants this and doesn't want it to be Christmas, you could probably do it with just taking a few things out and covering a few things up. I just love this one. And I think we had a flip through before on that. I don't really know how much I've showed you of these Christmas journals. I can't remember, so we'll just flip while I talk. Anyway, it was a great day. They had in the flyer, which I just got like the week before or something, the instructions that you had to be there at 7 a.m. Lori, Becky, or anyone else, if you see a journal that you want, message me or email me and put the timestamp that you see in the bottom. Don't say the third one or the fourth one or whatever. Put the timestamp so I can find it easy. They would be $25 a piece, shipped. If you want 2, I can make you a deal. 3, not so much because they don't fit in the same shipping envelope. Okay, it's nice when you're making a video so you can figure out where you were. They had in the flyer that you had to be there at 7 a.m. And it was an hour away from my house. So 7 was a little early. That gave you 2 hours to set up. I did not need 2 hours because A, I had practiced the day before, and B, I had watched a couple of videos and they talked about, one lady was in Texas, I think her name's Donna. She has a big, wonderful channel. But she talked about have your cards in the containers and ready to go so you can just set them out. I had mine in them and then in big cardboard boxes because this is Oregon, and so I was totally prepped for if it was pouring down rain when we unloaded. Fortunately, it was not pouring down rain. And so the cardboard boxes were a little bit of overkill. Then when I left, it wasn't raining either. So I just took all those, shoved them in the boxes as fast as I could. Didn't even have to close the lids and mess with them, and put them in the car. So that was really, really nice. I think had it been pouring down rain, the way I did it would have been crucial because it's paper crafts, right? So if my tablecloth got wet or if any of my products got wet, it would have been a hot mess. Other thing that was in the flyer that I didn't fully understand, and if you're going to do a craft fair, think this through. It said you could bring a chair, which I did, but then they provided chairs, and a rug for your feet. And I thought, oh, maybe their feet get cold. And I was like, well, I'm going to wear big tennis shoes. So it's okay because my feet won't get cold. What they were trying to prep you for was, this was in a fire station. So imagine they just rolled out the fire trucks and you're sitting next to a very rural fire station. You're sitting next to the big shop door. And in the morning, this is a fabric pocket, it's precious. We had the doors open. It was cold and damp all day. And I didn't think to wear my flannel lined jeans. I've never worn them to an indoor thing, but I would have loved to have them. I had tennis shoes, thick wool socks. I had a tank top, a long sleeve t-shirt, and a hoodie sweatshirt. My body, my core was okay. I had a big coat in the car that I could have gotten. That wasn't it. It was my legs and my feet and my hands. It was just cold. It was cold all day. When I sat down, I used a towel that I had put around the racks so they didn't slide and slam into my back window when I was driving. I used that towel like a blanket on my lap, and I was very grateful that I had it when I sat down to use it. You're so special. So it was just, a learning curve. I think if it was in a church like the one that Noni and I had visited our friend Mary at the day before, it wouldn't have been so chilly. But again, maybe the heat hadn't been on or that sort of thing, right? I don't know. It's just adapting to where you are. Plus, it's a long day. I will say this event was 9 to 3. I did not need 2 hours to set up. I was probably ready to go about 8:30 or so, but one of the videos that I had watched said, be sure you're set up early because that's when the craft fair participants shop, is they shop before the fair opens. I didn't sell anything until probably, I don't recall the time. Somebody was there, so maybe somebody will comment, but I don't think it was Eileen and Janie. Probably 9:30 was my first sale, and it was a lady who bought a card, and I celebrated her and told her she was my first sale, and then she also picked up a couple tags, and we were chatting and had a great time. Oops, upside down. Setting up early, was it worth it? Probably not. I probably could have slowed down to see the herd of elk, and fortunately it wasn't icy or anything, so it wasn't a bad day like getting there. But it was in the dark through a road that was, animals. I was watching for deer. That's literally why. I knew something was up because another car was slowed way down, but I was very focused on what was coming at me. So, it was an early morning drive through the dark on a road that I probably hadn't been on in decades. So maybe next time I would roll in a little bit later, but I didn't want to get in trouble. It seemed like a fairly structured group. Isn't this the most magical page ever? That's a die cut from Mary, who you saw a picture of earlier in this video. Yeah, I would definitely do it again. I had a great time. They were all, the PD Women's Club was like the sweetest group of people, and they had like 20 soups and maybe it's the other way around. 20 pies, 10 soups. It was an amazing day. But if somebody said, hey, do you want to do a craft fair? It's 8 to 5 and 1 million people come. No, that would be too long a day for me. I almost died of boredom a little bit during a lull in the afternoon. My cross stitch was in my big purse, and I had downsized and gotten rid of that, so I didn't have any cross stitch. At one point I realized I had paper, scissors, and glue, so I started making envelopes out of paper that I don't really like. I think I had it with me to give away. I was wondering if there would be a lot of kids and I would give out stickers or something. There weren't that many kids, and a couple of them that I talked to were super shy. But one thing I will say is it was a Veterans Day event. I guess they always do it on Veterans Day, in a community where I got to watch little kids. I mean, we're talking 6, 7, 8 maybe, walk up to veterans and thank them for their service. At one point, I watched a preteen girl walk up to an elderly man who was knitting, by the way, and thank him for his service. That alone was worth getting up early and going there. It was so sweet. She was so shy, and then her little brother thanked another one around the corner. It was great. It was just a really cool event to be part of. So I think maybe that's part of it. Some of those are really big commercial events and you would sell more, but spending the day with great people, that's the way to do it. This one has all kinds of cute stuff. I'm surprised this one didn't sell, but the Peach Butterfly Journal did. So I'll tell you what sold while we're doing this too. The Peach Butterfly Journal, which was the last of the official series. This was made before. It's not as over-the-top butterfly-ish. And the bright pink wrapping paper trash one that I made, that one sold. And a Christmas one with the shaker on the front, the pool liner one. You remember that one? That one I was a little sad to see go, but I knew she would love it and take care of it. That blue pool liner where I put the bow around it and tied it. And she was a preteen girl with her grandma who was touching things, and her grandma was freaking out. But I told people all day long, touch things, check out whatever you want, have a great time. At one point we dropped some cards on the floor. Was that ideal? No, but it was okay. And I love this page with the silver vellum and the stars. And then this one's a top tag. I thought I was upside down for a minute. And I didn't leave the tags in the bin because I was worried the bin might fall on the floor. You know what I mean? I was worried it would slide off and somebody would feel bad. But maybe I should have. Maybe it would have been a little cuter and corralled them more. I did have to tidy. Like, I was surprised at how messy things got. This is a dog journal. There's a video from it in July, I think, with a total flip through. So I'm just going to give you a quick look, and if you need to see the link or whatever. But this thing is totally cute. Crazy, crazy cute. This is a basic gray collection, so you cannot buy this and make it. Oh my gosh, super cute. There's a flip. This one you haven't seen at all, I don't think. This was, I don't know, a placemat, a roll of crafty stuff. I don't know what this was. I don't know if it'll hold up, but listen. It is some sort of textile wood stuff. And I didn't put any glue on the outside. If a crafter purchases it and it doesn't seem like it's holding up, I would put lace or fabric on the binding and glue that down. And then you could put like gel matte medium or something over the outside and it would last longer. You could even cover it in clear contact paper, but the texture of it is wonderful. I glued it generously and with giant sheets of double-sided adhesive. I think I made a video of that, but I didn't show you. So that stuff didn't seep through. Not a lot of it was done with wet glue, and the bits of reflection that you see are a manila envelope under it. So it gives you an idea of like how not thick and sturdy it is. And then on the inside, it is a sort of natural vintage journal that I started one day. This was a UFO that I found when I was prepping for the craft fair. And then I used this paper on it. It just kind of spoke to me on the inside. This is a stencil that Andrea did on, I think we called it Paste Day, where she was mixing different pastes. So it has some yellowy, green, glittery goodness. And it's just kind of great. It's very, I guess we would call it naked, ready for you to pick a theme. It could be your goals journal for the year. It could be your gardening journal, project ideas. It's a pretty neat one. I need to make a bunch more like this because I've hoarded so many supplies. This was from Melody. That's one of her digital prints. Look at this. Just a cute little pocket and a little envelope where I kind of started down a path. This vellum is just cool. It's colored and textured. So like the pattern is embossed in it. So now we're going down the other side, so you've kind of seen the stuff before. This is a little chunky and maybe a little bright, but you know, it made me happy in there. Okay, so there's that one. And my thought is, like I said, $25 a piece. I can make you a deal if you want two. In the video, you saw my prices. Those can't necessarily be my shipped prices, right? Because it's much easier if you walk in. And the table was only $15 for the day. It's just a really cool event, a giant fundraiser. I did not win the red, white, and blue quilt. Eileen and Janie were asking me at the end of the day if they won. No, it was a lady that I didn't know her name. So we didn't win the quilt. I did bring home some homemade candy. They had 16 feet of table covered with homemade baked goods and candy and extra stashes in the kitchen and in candy jars on racks behind the thing. And I brought home some toffee. Oh my gosh. If I had tried it, I would have eaten the whole thing and then bought more to bring home. So I'm glad I didn't try it during the day. I was a pillar of strength because I was right next to the cashier for that. I could have just said, here's my money, go for it. This video is probably going to be late because it's getting long. But it was just a great day. And so maybe the other one in the other tiny community will be just as fun and I'll make new friends. This is hilarious. I picked out a quilt that it spoke to me. It was gnomes. Hello, I'm not really a gnome fan. It was red and green for Christmas. It was a lap quilt. It just would have been a great addition to my front room. And, you know, my mom's a quilter. She's never going to make a Christmas quilt. I'll tell you that right now. And she's not going to make a cute gnome thing either, probably. Well, maybe if I bought the fabric and put it in the order. So I told the lady, if that quilt's still there at the end of the day, it's a sign, and it was meant to be. And I got really busy, and I glanced over, and there was a hole on her rack, and I looked at her, and she grinned, and I was like, I guess it wasn't meant to be. So there was really neat stuff. I didn't pick up any of the wooden buttons. Every booth was cool. I was the only paper crafter. There was a booth that had wooden buttons, and I kind of hope she is at the next one I go to, because I should have bought some of those. I just got busy. I didn't think about it. I was tired. It was a lot for a rookie. And several people, when I watched videos, I think I watched at least 3 different people's videos, they said smart things. One person shared a checklist, and I took a picture of that, and on the checklist was water and snacks. Snacks, there wasn't really a risk at the fair I was at, but I did drink my entire thing of coffee and put that in the car right before, because my cup is fancy and I always leave it places. And then I had a big bottle of water, not big enough, it ran out. So fortunately, my mom got me another bottle of water with my pie. So that was really nice. I don't know what the point of all that was. Oh, but the checklist. And some people said to bring a friend to help you, like for restroom breaks or that kind of thing. Ours was pretty good because the people who put on the event will help you. Like they would have given me a lunch break or a potty break at any time, but my mom took care of that, right? I wanted to show you this one also. This could be a $5 add-on with another journal if you just get one, and then we could package this because it wouldn't change the shipping. It would fit right in. I can't believe this didn't sell. But like I said, people weren't thinking Christmas. They weren't Christmas. There wasn't a lot of journaling. I talked to some of the older ladies because there is this trend right now where you interview your grandparents or you give your grandparents a book with questions in it and they write it. I thought something like that in a Christmas journal would make an awesome gift for a grandchild. Some of the people I talked to were shy about their handwriting. One of my friends was worried about her memory already. So that might be an amazing gift. You could do sort of a December daily gift to your grandkids combo. And one lady told me she had like 30 grandchildren and her favorite and oldest was a boy, so she didn't think it was a good idea. But, you know, maybe if you have like 1 or 2 or you have a favorite girl, I don't know if the boys would get excited. But if I had something like that from my grandparents, I would be over the moon. This little cutie didn't sell either. Now, it didn't have a post-it price in it, so maybe I'll put one for the next craft fair, but it was in the $2 bin, so I think it was kind of clear, but maybe not. I'm going to price this, or if you wanted it as an add-on for $2, that's fine too. But I just couldn't believe it didn't sell. If it doesn't sell, I'll put it in my own stocking. That's what's left, and Lori and Becky, if there isn't a Christmas journal that speaks to you, you tell me and I'll take care of you, okay? And the rest of you, you know, if there's something here that speaks to you and you want to own, you let me know. I also do have this big beauty. I'm not totally sure how to ship this, so I think 25 would work also because I don't have a lot of materials in this. I just have no idea how to ship it. So if it's the love of your life, you tell me because I don't want you to be sad. The lady who invited me to the one in December was super nice. She even took a couple pictures. Eileen and Jeannie, she took a picture when you guys were there and we were talking, and she took a picture when my mom was there and I was talking to her. She just wanted me to have some pictures of my first craft fair. Isn't that sweet? So I don't have those yet, but she has all my contact information. She can text them or email them to me. When I get more information about that event, I'll let you know if I'm going to do it. And the first thing I asked her was, what are the hours? Because if they're super long, hard pass for me. But she actually didn't know, so I haven't committed yet. I hope that you guys are taking great care of yourselves. If you want to do a craft fair, think about, we've talked about it before, you can be super organized and have a lot of the same item, and maybe that will sell better. I think my journals were a little overwhelming for people. I think honestly, having fewer may have sold more. Does that make sense? I think my table was just a lot for them. So that's something I'll keep in mind. I might leave a few of my favorites, like this one and the big blue one. If you guys don't buy them, I might not take them to the next show because I want to move some of these other items, and this, I might not take this. We'll see. But if you want to go and meet crafters and make friends. I gave out more of my crafting and relaxing business cards yesterday than I've probably given out in the last year. I mean, maybe sometimes I remember to put them in your orders, but clearly you know how to find me if you bought something from me, right? Maybe we'll get some more people in our crafting and relaxing family and some great ideas. Who knows? Thanks for watching. I hope you're having an absolutely fabulous weekend. Take great care of yourselves because we're headed into the holiday season and you want to be healthy and happy. Bye-bye.